What's going on, everybody? It's Julian Gordon here, aka Mr. Multifamily, and I'm here with Maya Brown, and I'm excited to be here with her because I've always been trying to figure out how to share this information about real estate with young people. Obviously, many of them can't get finance at this point because they don't have consistent income yet, but it's important for them to plant these seeds. Now, for me, it started actually when I was in college. When I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, that book changed the game for me and opened me up to the possibilities of real estate. And immediately, I knew I wasn't going to buy a single family home as a result of that. And so, I'm excited to be here with Amaya. She is actually at University of Wisconsin-Madison, and she is majoring in real estate. And this is one of her assignments. And we said, hey, why not record it so that any young person out there who's interested in real estate or can come and watch it. Or if you are an adult who has a child who is looking to get into real estate, or you want to be in real estate in order to have generational wealth to pass on to them, this recording will be there for them. Generational wealth is not just about transferring money to somebody else. Her dad is in life insurance, and so he is committed to generational wealth to make sure that the next generation has that. But generational wealth is also passing the knowledge so that once the younger generation actually inherits the wealth, they can actually they actually know what to do with it. And so Maya, I'm so happy to be here with you and learn about what you're up to, help you with this assignment, and I'll let you be the interviewer and go from there.
Thank you so much again for meeting with me. It means a lot to me. So my first
Oh,
question is
you're a baseball star too, right?
yes,
How long you been playing baseball?
since I was about 4 years old.
Okay, and you playing at school now?
No, I'm not. Wanted to just focus on school because I
Okay.
think it's important.
All right, beautiful. Understood. Cool. What's your show?
Okay, what made you go into real estate?
Like I said, so I had a parent who was a doctor, anesthesiologist, and I witnessed them lose, despite making good income. I actually witnessed them lose the home that I grew up in. They ended up dealing with mental illness, and that led to that started affecting their career, and they lost their income, and as a result, they lost their home. So that was my first negative relationship to real estate, and I realized that the American dream of making a lot of money or having a high paying job, not necessarily making a lot of money, but having a high paying job and getting a single family home was actually more of a trap than it was leading people to freedom. So that was my first experience. And then in college, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's a book that has changed a lot of people's perspective on real estate and even wealth in general. I think it sold about 40 million copies. Now, the reality of it is that it might have sold 40 million copies. That doesn't mean 40 million people actually read the book. So maybe a fraction of people have actually read the book, and even a smaller fraction have actually executed on it. So immediately I knew that a single family home wasn't the pathway to financial freedom. And so I made a commitment that my first property would be a multifamily. And I bought that property, that multifamily, which is a 3 family home in Brooklyn, New York. I bought that in 2013. And as a result of buying that first property, I've achieved rent and mortgage freedom, meaning that my housing expense was paid for the rest of my, I haven't paid a housing expense since 2013 because the rent from the second floor and the third floor covered the principal, interest, taxes, insurance, capex, repair reserve, and vacancy rate, and therefore I was able to keep what I was paying in rent in New York, and rent in New York can be very expensive. I was able to keep that and start investing that into more properties.
Okay. Nice. How did you get started? Was that your first? How you got started in your industry?
Yeah, that's how I got started in the industry as a buyer myself, and then after about acquiring 3 homes, a duplex in New Orleans, and then a duplex in Oakland, California, where I'm from. I live in New Orleans now, from Oakland, California. Once I acquired those 3 properties, my identity changed. I didn't perceive myself as just being a home buyer. I think anybody can be a home buyer over an 80-year life. So my identity changed to say, you know what, I'm actually a real estate investor. And I believe I am are the 2 most powerful words. That's what God calls himself. I am that I am. Whatever you say after I am starts to manifest in your life. And so once I changed my identity to I am a real estate developer or I'm a real estate investor, then my behavior started to change. And in 2019, I acquired 7 properties here in New Orleans with 25 apartments. And since then, things have just been picking up pace. Now I'm doing larger deals and development. I'm part of a fund called the Buyback Baton Rouge Fund, where we are raising. We actually the round just closed yesterday on the 30th of September, and we raised over $3 million to develop 184 multifamily units in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and 12,000 square feet of commercial.
Okay. What is your favorite part about what you do?
My favorite part about what I do, I it's interesting. In high school, during the summer, I went to UC Berkeley for a program that was in architecture. And I actually have a picture in my album of me actually building apartment buildings out of cardboard using an X-Acto knife and everything like that. And what I love is and what I love is that now I actually get to do that in real life. I'm playing Monopoly in real life, and I love manipulating space. I love manipulating space and cutting it up in different ways and designing it in different ways to increase the functionality and the use of it. I also love the people part of the business. I love circulating wealth. I love my relationships with my contractors here in New Orleans. I love my relationships with my tenants. A lot of people think that landlords and tenants are supposed to have this contentious relationship. I deeply care for the people that I house. I provide quality, affordable housing for about 60 people who live in the 30 different apartments. And so I actually love the people side of the business. When in this internet age, you can get so attached to your computer and connecting with people online and doing work on a computer. And uh-oh, you froze. Okay, there you go. You can get so attached to, doing things using technology, but real estate is a very human business. It's a contact sport. You got to be in contact with people, and you got to be in contact with properties. And so I love the fact that it gets me up away from the desk and actually out into the world. And I love creating amazing spaces for people that they feel good in, that they feel comfortable in, that they're happy in, that they have peace of mind in. And so, yeah, I love the people that real estate has brought into my life.
Okay. And what is your least favorite part about what you do?
Least favorite part is the toilets. Now, the toilets. Now, little knickknacks. Water is probably the greatest threat to real estate, and so leak here, water damage here, roof here, termites here, whatever. The little knickknacks. These are huge structures, right? And usually there's always something wrong. There's always something wrong, whether it's a light fixture, whether it's electrical, whether it's foundation, whether it's roof, something goes not wrong. It's just natural wear and tear. And so those getting some of those calls unexpectedly is one of the parts that I don't enjoy. But in cities like Oakland and Brooklyn, I have property managers, and here I have a great real estate Rolodex of contractors who will go handle those things. But I never like a tenant in the winter being without heat, right? Even if I'm going to get the contractor out there within 3 hours, I don't like people being without heat. I don't like people being without electric. So, but those are then just natural things, natural wear and tear and breakdown. A roof ages, a foundation ages, electrical ages. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but you can never predict when those things are going to happen. If it was like every 3 years, you do this, and every 5 years you do this, it would make things easier. You knew it was going to last, but it's unpredictable. So you can get some surprises on a weekly basis. And that's my least favorite part is those surprises. It's not even the expense of them because I love circulating money. I love paying my contractors. I love getting things fixed for folks. But you just never know when they're going to come.
Does your work align with your personal values?
Oh, very much so. Very much so. I'm a community oriented individual. I really care about people and all my real estate isn't all in one community. In Baton Rouge, it will be as we are developing the Eddie Robinson Senior Historic District there. But yeah, real estate really speaks to my value of community. It speaks to my value of financial freedom. And that is financial freedom for me and my family. So it is a vehicle that I use to create financial freedom for my family and I while I take care of other families to make sure that they have quality housing. I have a variety of tenants from people who are well off to people who are dealing with financial challenges and are on Section 8. And And I just love the, like I said, the people part of the business, and loving meeting people of all different walks of life, and supporting them, and meeting them, and learning their stories. So yeah, as a community oriented person, as a person who is trying to also create generational wealth for my last name, real estate is definitely in alignment with my values.
Yeah, that's one reason I'm really interested in real estate. I actually wrote my college application essay about it, how I want to start a nonprofit to help low income like minorities build generational wealth through real estate. That's like how I wrote my
Beautiful.
essay. So
Exactly.
that's one reason I really wanted to go into because I really like the feeling of community, which is so
Yes. So
I'm
we're in
glad.
alignment. We're in perfect alignment.
Okay, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Great question. So the buyback Baton Rouge fund had just closed yesterday, and that the developments there, the 184 multifamily units in the commercial spaces, they're going to take time to develop and get fully running and things of that nature. So I'm going to be spending a lot of time in Baton Rouge developing that community, and I'm excited about it. This was a historically Black community. There was a historic Black community that got divested due to the interstate system being run through it, due to integration, and due to Black flight. I'm excited about that, and I just see myself doing larger and larger deals, and I see myself empowering more and more people by the thousands to acquire multifamily real estate as their first home. Right now, I lead a movement, the multifamily movement, where I teach thousands of people how to acquire that first multifamily unit property. I expect that 5 years from now, oh my goodness, I expect that movement to be huge, and for thousands of people to have closed on their first multifamily home. And then on the other side of that is the real estate development, where I can raise a fund that allows other people to come invest in developments, larger developments that may be at a distance. So right now in this particular fund, we have about almost 400 and about 350 to 400 investors who invested in this fund, and I'm getting the opportunity to make their money work for them while they continue to be who they are and do what they do wherever it is that they live. So I see those deals getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and the movement, a multifamily movement, getting larger and larger and larger. So that's what I'm excited about.
What are some beginning steps that you recommend for me to get started into real estate?
Yeah, so I get a lot of college students who come to me, and they feel torn because something got them into real estate. And I'm also interested to know what got you interested in real estate. But they don't have the income, and having income is really important in order to be able to get financed. So for you right now is definitely working on your credit, because you need credit, cash, and cash flow in order to get finance, right? So you can start working on your credit now. And for you as a college student, it would be go get a one credit card, and put your cell phone bill on it, and then cut up the credit card. There's no reason the credit card needs to be in your wallet or your purse or anything like that. But you do want to start your credit history as early as possible, right? And you want to have proof of consistent payment over time while you are in undergrad. In terms of the cash savings, usually that's going to come from your income from a job. So whether or not you're able to save up for a down payment during college, if you're really disciplined, you definitely could. I've even known people to leverage financial aid to use as their down payment, because financial aid, if done right, and if you keep your cost of living low, can actually provide you with enough money for a down payment at a very low interest rate. So that's one way to create the cash savings. But then also just position yourself in terms of your marketability and your skill set, so that you have the consistent income upon graduation in order to be able to get financed. So right now, college is not guaranteed jobs. And college used to be a definite path to a guaranteed job. In our parents' generation, it was one college graduate got three job offers, and today it's three college graduates and one job offer. So college is no longer this guaranteed path to getting a consistent job. And I'm actually not. Your dad's an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur, so it's not just a job. Job isn't the only route. I do encourage you while in college to also learn how to make money yourself. independently. I'm not saying that you have to become an entrepreneur full time upon graduating, but you should actually learn how to make money on your own, right? I don't care if that's a lemonade stand on campus. I don't care if it's selling roses during around Valentine's Day. I don't care if it's making t-shirts, t-shirt business or whatever, car wash, painting during the summer, whatever it is. I encourage you to go learn how to make money for yourself. And so that's what I would do. And then of course, just a real estate mentor in the market that you're in Madison. If you can find the largest developer, and maybe the largest developer is too busy, or you find somebody who is accessible, more accessible, like me or something like that, who you're going to shadow and intern with during your 4 years, so that you can learn the game by just being attached to their hip. That's probably going to be the greatest thing that you can do now in order to do that. I know you're going to be in the real estate program, or you already are in the real estate program. But what I've really learned is that you can't really learn real estate from a book. It's kind of like you can't learn to cook from a cookbook, right? You actually have to get in the game. You got to go buy some food. You got to go put it on the stove. You got to season it, taste it. You got to burn it. You know, you're going to make some mistakes, but you got to actually be in the game. You can't really just learn it from a book. And so to the extent that you can get away from campus and actually go see, touch people and properties. Like I said, real estate is a contact sport. It's going to prepare you to succeed in this particular space. But remember, for real estate, a college degree is not required.
Yeah.
Be a real estate investor. There are no requirements. I don't even have my real estate license. Okay. Mm-hmm. Real estate agents and real estate investors and developers think completely differently about real estate. Most real estate agents don't even know how to calculate cash on cash return, which is actually one of the most important numbers when it comes to evaluating a real estate deal. And to be honest, and now that I think of it, you could, in order to make money, become a real estate agent while in college. Mm-hmm. You could go study for that for 30 days and knock that test out and actually go start selling real estate, because there's no, maybe there's an age requirement like 18, but there's no other requirements except you passing this test. And so that might be a good way to get in the game, start to learn, actually start to get some commission, sales commissions, and just get attached to the game that way.
Okay. And I have a couple more questions. How would you recommend me going about getting a summer internship? Like, what steps do you recommend?
Great question. So if I was looking for a summer intern right now, how would I want them to approach me? That's how I'm thinking about the question. Yeah. I don't want to babysit, okay, because I have a lot of things to do, and so I'm looking for a giver. I'm looking for somebody who has high quality work. I'm looking for somebody who has a passion and interest and has demonstrated a passion and interest. If I was looking for a summer intern, I would want the person to have gone through my YouTube channel and digested as much information from me as possible prior to coming and asking me questions, right? So that means that they've gone as far as they possibly go without actually talking to me, right? They've taken advantage of everything that I've already put out. That's going to show a lot. That's going to put them ahead of anybody in comparison to, like, oh, let's say somebody went to a quote unquote better school or had better grades. I'm actually going to go with the person who's actually done the research and knows what I've already put out there in the world and has studied that as if it was a class. And then they also have to just demonstrate what is their skill set. How are they going to take things off of my plate? Right? What are they going to bring to the table? And just because you're young doesn't mean that you don't have anything to bring to the table, right? You might be able to bring social media marketing to the table. You might be able to bring research skills to the table, because there's thousands of real estate deals to be done, and I don't have the time to do all the research. And so you might say, hey, this might actually be, if I was somebody like you, this might be my application. Hey, I found this foreclosures list in Madison, and I went through them, and I actually called 100 of the owners, and I found 10 properties that are for sale. I would love to share those with you. I'm looking for a summer internship, and right now I don't have the financing to move on these deals, but they might be good deals for you. If an 18 to 22-year-old approach me like that, oh, we're gonna work together. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this is not a pass my resume, look at my GPA, I'm a good person, good personality, and good grades type of world that we're in. You have to actually demonstrate that you can create value for somebody, and your age and even your lack of knowledge in terms of real estate doesn't mean that you can't create value for somebody who's more senior and more experienced than you right now.
Um, do you recommend going to grad school for doing what you do?
For this, no. Do not spend your down payment money for your home on grad school. Again, there's no you can't, the real estate is not something to be learned via textbooks or classroom. You have to be out there in the real world for it. And unless you are trying to work for the Marriott or some large real estate developer who values that stamp of approval, it's not necessary. I mean, if you go look at the largest real estate developers in the world, they likely do not have any master's degree or even an undergraduate degree in real estate, right? They found the industry, they learned the industry, typically outside of a college campus, and then they mastered it from there. So with the cost of grad school nowadays, my encouragement, honestly, I graduated from UCLA in 3 years
Hmm.
because I didn't see a reason to stay for 4 years and spend an extra $25,000. So my thing is get out of college as quickly as you possibly can, because a lot of the information there is actually going to be irrelevant to your success and your future and generational wealth. And in addition to getting out as quickly as you can to save money and reduce your student debt, I encourage you to have your own curriculum. There's a difference between liberal arts education, which is what costs you and what college has been for the past 50 plus years. And then there's liberation arts education. And liberation arts is what's actually going to free you. And you'll find that you don't get any liberation arts in the actual classroom. So you actually have to go facilitate that curriculum on your own. There has to be a series of set of books that you are reading outside of class that is working to liberate you mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. So liberation arts education is what's actually going to determine your success. And so there's also another metric for success in college, which is the other 4.0. And the other 4.0 is you using this 4 years of space and time to develop your personal capital, which is how well you know yourself. Okay. That's your gifts, your talents, and your strengths. Then there's your intellectual capital. That's what you know. Okay. What you know, mastering some sort of skill or subject. Then there is your social capital. That's who you know and who knows you. So that's building relationships on campus and off campus, alumni, professors, classmates, et cetera. Not just having a lot of friends, but building your network up, not just across. Okay. And then finally, financial capital, doing whatever you can to develop your financial capital while you are here. So that could be applying for scholarships, that could be getting a job, internship, applying for grants, things of that nature, increasing your skill set so that you can go earn income while you're in college. You don't have to wait to graduate to earn income. You can earn income right here and right now, as long as you have a skill set that is valuable to other people. So if I was starting college again, I would be focused on liberation art. I'd be managing my classes, okay, doing what I need to do well in them, but I'm not trying to get a 4.0. That's not my goal there, because I know that that's going to evaporate off my resume at the age of 25 and nobody will care. But I'm going to be actually developing the other 4.0 and working on my liberation arts education using this 4 years of space and time. Because there's no other, if you think about it, where else are you going to have 4 years of space and time to develop yourself like this? I mean, you're in class for 12 to 16 hours a week. Where else are you going to have 4 years of space and time like this? It doesn't really, there doesn't really occur for people. So this is a rare 4 years of space and time that you can actually borrow money to go do. Knowing your dad, he probably figured it out, had a life insurance policy, and is borrowing against it. Knowing your dad, you probably aren't paying for anything. And knowing your skill set and how smart you are, hopefully a lot of it has been funded. But either way, this 4 years of space and time is rare, and I encourage you to use it and maximize it to the best of your ability, and not get caught up in the Hollywood version of college, which is the parties and the sports and the things of that nature. That is not really the richness of the college experience. Do I want you to have fun while you're there? Yeah, but ultimately I want you to be free.
That is all the questions that I have for you. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah. So where did your interest in real estate actually begin?
When I was a little girl, I loved real estate shows. I'd watch HGTV
Mm,
all day, every day. My dad would go in my room and he'd be like, "Why are you watching this?" And I'd be like, "It's so interesting. Like, look at them. They love what they're doing." And I wanted to like be that person for other people to be able to show them, make their dreams come true. And
Mm,
then as I started my scholarship program, which is called Business Emerging Leaders Scholarship Program at the business school, it only furthered like my love for real estate and wanting to be in the business world. And so then when college applications came around, it was like, what social, one of the questions was, what is a social like movement or something that is very valuable to you? And I wrote about, like I mentioned earlier, I wrote about how the the like black household is supposed to be have a median like wealth of zero by 2050, and that really hit me, that like real estate is like a foundational piece for net worth in a family, and I wanted to be that person to help other minorities, especially black people, do that. So my end goal in life is to have my own nonprofit that teaches low-income black people how to save, invest their money to real estate so they can get out of the generational curses and build generational wealth.
that's
And
absolutely beautiful.
that is the main reason why I like real estate.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I love the vision. Home ownership is key for us. I do want you to do some research on the single family home versus multifamily home, because the single family home, if bought wrong, could actually be a trap for folks. Even though it's perceived as the American dream, if you have a single family home, when you add up the principal, interest, private mortgage insurance, taxes, and insurance, you could actually be paying more money out of your pocket every single month for housing than someone who was renting the same square footage next door to you. Whereas with multifamily real estate, if you buy it right, you can get to rent and mortgage freedom and never have a housing expense for the rest of your life. I also want to encourage you to not always associate doing good with nonprofit. I
Yeah.
believe that what it is that you are seeking to create can be a for-profit, and it'll probably be easier to sustain and grow as a for-profit than being in the nonprofit space where you typically have to beg and ask for money. So much so that you're always seeking money and you aren't actually able to do the work that you truly want to do, which is being in connection with the human beings that you're seeking to serve. Financial literacy is important for our community, and what your dad is doing with life insurance, that can be combined. I can see you two working together, the powerhouse that could be combined, the life insurance and the real estate, to really change the financial trajectory of families. And so I'm excited to see this for you. And yeah, I love the vision and I love your heart, and I wish you the best. And if there's anything I can do to support on your journey, I'm happy to do so.
Thank you so much.
Indeed. So tell me about this project. You're gonna turn it in. You got to write a paper, and
Um, it's called informational interview. So I had to pick somebody who is in the industry that I want to go into, and then basically just make up a list of questions, and then reflect on your answers, and then I have to reflect on if your answers, what you have, is based with my personal values and what I want to do, and then report back if I still would like to be in real estate, basically.
beautiful. That's a good assignment. I'm glad to be involved. I hope this helped you make your decision. I can already tell where your purpose is leading you, so I think you'll be good to go. No
Thank you so much.
problem, sister. Have a great day. Okay.
You too.
All right. Peace.
Bye.